John Zogby on the line right now. John, we're just kind of chatting about the just the name alone of the Space Force.
Right.
In comparison to Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Space Force. Okay, maybe. But the fact that they're doing a logo contest that is being sent out to donors, please tell me this isn't true.
I read the same thing, so it is true.
Oh, Lord.
There are plans for a Space Force, and I suppose there's a logo contest. I'm not going to enter it, though.
You're not going to. No. Well, I wonder what you could. I think maybe you win a hat or something if you're on the right side and pick the right logo.
Well, maybe I will enter it then.
Might not be worth that. Might not be a bad idea. So
no.
All right. Just when you think, you have to think again. John Zogby, you and the OD yesterday talking about the importance and the impact that the president coming for Claudia Tenney can have, and also there's some historical value as well.
Oh, absolutely. Look, the president, whoever the president is, comes to town. It's a big deal. You know, logistically, it shuts the place down. The motorcade is impressive. The Secret Service presence is impressive. What it does is it does lift a campaign. It's a way of telling local voters this race is very important to the White House. It energizes volunteers, energizes donors, allows the candidate to feel larger than the race that she, was originally planning to run as a local race. And so, there's no question about the fact that a presidential visit, any presidential visit, is always a big deal.
Wouldn't you also say that because in circles, if you're in political circles, or I guess sitting at a McDonald's with a group of guys having coffee on a Thursday morning, that I don't think Claudia Tenney really knows the president. I don't think she has a close relationship with him at all. Oh, I think she does. I mean, that battle goes back and forth. This really affirms that he knows Claudia Tenney, and he's coming out to support her.
Absolutely, it does. So for those who are on the fence, this could be very persuasive.
Yeah.
For those who really don't care at all, the president came to town.
Sure.
That's just that's the stuff of which legends are made. Towns still talk about these things, even for those who don't directly remember. This president's a lightning rod, and so it could also have the reverse impact of energizing the Democratic base.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Certainly, Anthony Brindisi, I thought, put out a clever redo of the president's invite yesterday, and he's having his own fundraiser.
Yes, I got it. It was marked up the way a teacher would, and in the style of the kind of campaign that he's adopted, which is, $5 and $10 and $15 contributions, as opposed to $15,000 photo ops and $5,000 to co-host. But I think the burden is, to be objective here, Democrats have to come up with a big name. And really, I think the only two big names that will matter are Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Now, I know Obama did not do well in this district in 2008 or 2012. On the other hand, he is the former president of the United States, and no one energizes the Democratic base the way he does.
Wouldn't you say, though, that especially in this, with more Republicans and Democrats, and even though it is moderate, that an Obama or certainly a Hillary would be a bad move, but a Biden would be a better move because even Republicans seem to warm up to Biden a little bit.
Biden's hot right now.
Yeah.
And he's also very good out there on the stump, and has this, this everyman Joe. He's morphed into Joe after all these years. Uncle Joe, to some, would be a real coup, I think, to bring him in. I think Obama would work as well as given the stature and given the charisma. And in this instance, he would be talking to the base and would also neutralize, any sentiments that the Tenney campaign would be able to say, hey, we got the president, Brindisi, we got the president too.
Yeah. And how do you handle this if you're obviously this is a big part of the 22nd congressional district, but it stretches, it begins all the way up in Oswego and stretches all the way down into Binghamton, a place where Claudia Tenney has some trouble polling down that way. How does it reflect on the rest of the district if in her hometown this is where the president comes and everybody else gets left out, or does she have to really try to put something else maybe in the southern tier?
No, I don't think so. There are two ways of looking at it. Ever since this district was created, kind of the Binghamton Utica tension has been there, and it is traditional in other ways for Binghamton to be tacked on, say, the Syracuse Diocese, for example. It feels like the southern tier is left out or the orphan. This is a sentiment that folks in Binghamton normally feel. On the other hand, it's kind of like going door to door. A candidate, running for mayor or something will try to knock on every door. But if you're running, say, for county executive, what you do is you run, you knock on the doors of about or a third of the doors, and then you have your folks send the message out that, hey, the candidate was on this street.
Yeah.
So the president came to the 22nd district. That's important, and he came to one area. Can't cover the whole district.
And to be honest, the word is we're hearing that the president's going to come back maybe in October for a rally type appearance. That just shows you the importance of this seat. It's one of the 10 big toss-ups in the country. One other question strategically: what if Anthony Brindisi's take is, I'm not bringing anybody in. I'm not tied to any national politician. My tie is to my constituents here in the 22nd.
Well, sure, he could certainly run that kind of campaign, and it could win for him. A lot of the old rules of engagement are not so relevant anymore.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's like Bernie Sanders and the $27.
Right.
Became a mantra. After a while, he'd come out to audiences and say, "What's the average amount of money that I raised?" And everybody in unison would shout, $27. So, this is a theme that Anthony is playing, and it could be a very successful one.
All right, interesting stuff. John Zogby, thanks so much, as always. We'll do it again.
Yep, take care.
Okay. I do wonder, in a district where Anthony Brindisi has to rely on moderate Republicans to vote for him. Is Obama a mistake? Even Biden, is he a mistake? Would you stay clear of that? Because I personally, I would. I would.
Obama, yes. I don't know about Obama.
I don't think Obama would be a good idea. Biden might be. Obama would be a good idea. And down in the Binghamton region, down in some of the areas that you get down there, a little more bigger liberal vote. Certainly, you have Utica and Rome that can skew a little more liberal. But while Obama would be big for Democrats, this is just my take. Those people are already voting for Anthony Brindisi. The people Anthony Brindisi needs is that moderate section that doesn't like the president, that doesn't like Claudia Tenney. Those people probably are not going to be swayed by an Obama, and maybe not even by a Biden.
Especially,
and how much once you've done the president and this president, everything else is downhill from there.
Yeah, it's like you can't have anything stack up against it. But I like your point about Brindisi's been really trying to stick away from keep away from the political establishment and Nancy Pelosi, and I think that wouldn't do much to help his cause.
Maybe you can bring up Nancy Pelosi and boo her off the stage. Sorry, Nancy, I brought you up, and I'm going to
everybody,
tell you,
let's get off
and vegetable
get
off my stage.
like the guy from the old Jerry Springer guy.
This is what I got to do, apparently, because nobody will believe me that I'm not supporting her. So now I'm going to come up and make fun of her.
Nancy, I brought you in here to tell you I'm not voting for you.
Just to berate you. That's why I brought you up here. Thanks for coming. See ya. I've always endorsements. I don't think are a big deal, but when the president comes in and endorses, and this president, it is. There's no doubt. It's a big deal.